So we're on question number 23. Okay, they're asking us to find the sum of some polynomials. Okay, this is not difficult stuff. Okay, first off, you guys got to remember though, what does it mean by sum? Like SUM sum? Add. Yeah, add. It means you add them together. Okay. So on number 23, we have 5y plus 4 plus something. Plus what? Negative 2y plus 6. Negative 2y plus 6. All we're doing was adding like terms. It should take you longer to write down the problem than it is to come up with the answer, okay? What am I going to add to 5y? Negative 2y. What's 5 and negative 2? 3 what? 3 y's, and then 4 and 6 is 10. You know what you do now? You go to the next question. This is not difficult stuff. Okay, you're simply adding like terms. That's it. 3y plus 10. Done. Okay? Number 25. This one's going to take a little longer just because there's more to it. 2n squared minus 5n. 2n squared minus 5n minus 6. Minus 6 plus. Oops. Minus 6 plus something. Negative n squared minus 3n. And what? Plus 11. I will say this. Occasionally a student will say, is it okay if we use x's? I don't like n's. I'm going to use x's. I don't care if you do that. And on a written test, I don't care if you do that. But if you type it in with x's on the computer, they're going to say it's wrong.
I think
okay?
you do that sometimes.
Yep, it does that. So what can I put with 2n squared?
Negative n.
And what number's in front of that? Negative what?
1.
What's 2 plus negative 1?
1.
1n squared. And I'm going to put 1n squared, but I would leave the 1 off. The computer may or may not mark you off. I would just put n squared. Okay? If you write 1n squared on a written test, is that okay?
Yeah.
Which do I want?
Oh. It doesn't
Well,
matter.
either one. I don't really care. But the computer sometimes gets touchy. He doesn't like that. Now be careful here. Some students say, well, I'm going to put together 5n and 3n. That's not 5 and 3. It's negative 5 and negative 3, which is negative 8n. And be careful. Some students will say, I thought a negative and a negative is a positive.
That's one multiple.
When you're multiplying a negative, negative is a positive. When you add negatives, you get a negative. Then add negative 6 and positive 11, it's positive 5. Okay? All you're doing is combining like terms.
Easy.
27. Okay, so we have 3g squared minus g. G squared minus g plus 3g squared minus 3g squared minus something minus 8g plus 4. Minus 8g plus 4? Is that what I said? Minus 8g plus 4. This one looks like it's a little more complicated. It really isn't, though. We put together 3g squared and 3g squared. Now, be careful. Some students say it's 6g4. No, it's not. If I take some g squareds with some g squareds, I have what? Some g squares. You don't add the exponents, okay? If you remember, when do you add the exponents? When you are timesing. We're not timesing. When you're adding, the exponents stay the same. 3 and 3 is 6g squared. I can put together a negative 1g and a negative 8g. That's a negative 9g. Now where you might get stumped is this. What am I going to combine with 4? What can I put with 4?
Nothing.
Nothing. It stays 4. You can't add anything to it. So 6g squared minus 9g plus 4. Okay, 29. 29.
All right.
I'd rather have you writing them down. Hunter, why don't you close that up and just write them down? I'd rather have you write them down. I mean, I don't care that you have the right answer. I care that you know how to get the right answer, okay? 29. So, 4a minus a3 minus a3 minus 3 plus something. 2a3 minus 5a squared, 2a3 minus 5a squared, then what? Plus 8. Okay? This one looks a little bit trickier. Let's review a little bit from earlier in this section. Why does this one look like it might be a little bit more, just a little more confusing?
There's more.
There's more. There's another reason.
There's different powers.
Yeah?
Different letters.
Well, I'll tell you what. Am I going to put 4a with 2a3?
No.
Why? They're both, that's first and that's first. I don't do that.
There's an exponent. I mean,
What do I put with 4a?
No.
Nothing, okay? I don't put anything with it, okay? They're not in the right, this one's in the right order. This one's not in the right order. Which term should have been first?
The power to 3.
Negative A3. Remember, it goes from big exponent to little exponent, okay? So what do I do with 4a? Nothing. It stays 4a. What can I put with negative 1a3? A positive 2a3. A negative 1 and a positive 2 is a positive 1a3. I could put negative 3 with positive 8. That's a positive 5. And what else do I still have? Minus 5a squared. Now, if you type it in like that, you're probably going to get it marked down, okay? It's got to be put in the right order. Which term should have been first?
A3.
Why?
It's because bigger
Biggest what?
exponent.
Then negative 5a squared. Then positive 4a plus 5. You got to put them in the right order. Okay. So we've done 4 questions. I thought I was going to do 8 of them with you guys. I've done 4. Now they want you to find the difference. What does difference mean? How would I find the difference in our ages?
Subtract.
Difference means subtraction. That's all it means. Difference means subtraction. These are going to take just a little bit longer. Not much, but a little bit. So on number 31, we have d minus 9 minus, now we're subtracting, 3d minus 1. Write this down, then just watch for a second, okay? It takes a little bit more work, just a little bit more work, but I really think this is what you should do, okay? Here's what you need to do. What number's sitting out front here? You don't see, but it's there. What number can I put right in front? A 1. If I distribute 1, when I multiply by 1, what happens?
You get the same number.
So I'm just going to write d minus 9. Let's just write that down. You don't need the parentheses, okay? You don't really need those, okay? Now, I'm going to distribute this negative sign. When I distribute a negative sign, be careful. Some students say, well, it makes everything negative. I wouldn't say it makes everything negative.
Makes negatives positive.
It makes positives negative. So it makes everything what? One word.
Opposite.
What'd
It's
you
the
say?
opposite.
Flip.
The opposite. It makes everything opposite, okay? So, when I distribute this negative, what's 3 going to turn into? Negative 3d. And what's this going to be? Plus 1. Now we're not done. Combine your like terms. There's a 1 in front of this d. I put 1 with what? 3? And get 4?
Yep, no, it's.
Careful.
It's now because that's
It's not 3, it's negative 3. 1 and negative 3 is negative 2d. Negative 9 and positive 1 is negative 8. Negative 2d, take away 8. So once you distribute the negative sign, it's just like the other problems. It's one extra step. I said it was a little bit more work, it's one extra step. That's all it is. Okay? 33, 3 more to go. Okay, so we have y2 minus 4y plus 9 minus 4y plus 9. 3y2 minus 6y. 3y2 6y. 3y2 minus 6y minus 9. Okay, so again, I would really encourage you to do this. There's a 1 sitting here. Distribute it. Nothing changes. So basically all you're going to do is going to rewrite it, but leave off the parentheses. Y squared minus 4y plus 9. Then distribute the negative sign, so 3 turns into negative 3y squared. Negative 6y turns into positive 6y. And negative 9 turns into positive 9. That's all we're doing is distributing the negative and everything changes to the opposite. Then we combine the like terms. There's a 1 in front of this y squared. 1y squared and negative 3y squared is negative 2y squared. 1 and negative 3 is negative 2. Negative 4y and positive 6y is a positive 2y. 9 and 9 is 18. Is that in the right order? Yeah, the exponents go from big to little. 2 more. 35. Okay, so we have k, is that a 3? K3 minus 7k. K3 minus 7k. Plus 2 minus something. K2 minus 12. K2 minus 12. Okay, so again, I'm just going to distribute a 1, which means nothing changes. I'm just going to rewrite this without parentheses. K3 minus 7k plus 2. Distribute the negative sign, so my K2 turns into negative K2. My negative 12 turns into positive 12. What can I put with K3?
Nothing.
Nothing. There are no K3, so it stays K3. Now, the next term I see is this. We're going to try to save some time here. The next term I see is if I go across, but you know the next one I'm going to look at is this one. Why do you think I'm going to look at that one next?
Because of the next small.
Next highest exponent, okay? And what can I put with it?
Sure.
What can I put with k squared?
Nothing.
So it stays negative k squared. And I'm going to look at negative 7k. I can't put anything with that either. But I can put together 2 and 12 and get plus 14. All we're doing is adding like terms. That's it. But when you're finding the difference, you have to change all the signs first. Last one, 37. So we have t4 minus t2. t4 minus t2 plus t minus something. 12 minus 9t squared. So 9t squared. 12 minus 9t squared minus 17. Okay. Now I haven't said this yet. Hopefully you guys caught it though. How come when I first started doing these problems at the very beginning, with the very first problem I put on the board here, how come I didn't change all the signs on the first ones?
Because it was added.
Because we were adding. When you're adding, you just add them together. When you're subtracting, leave this alone. T4 minus T2 plus T. Distribute the negative sign. 12 turns into negative 12. Negative 9t squared turns into positive 9t squared. Negative 7t turns into positive 7t. Should I look at this one first?
Yeah.
Because it's first?
No, because it's the biggest power.
Biggest power. It is first, but that's not the reason why we're looking at it first. It's because it has the highest power. What can I put with it? Absolutely nothing. Okay, the next biggest one is t squared. I have a negative 1t squared and a positive 9t squared. That's a positive 8t squareds. I could also put together t, which is a 1t, and 7t, that's 8t, and we still have the minus 12. Any question on these? This shouldn't be difficult, okay? Let's try to knock these out. We are going to start a new section tomorrow, okay? Okay, let's get at it. Oops, I'm going to stop recording now.